Who would like to make their life a little bit easier on social media when it comes to content? So what I'm going to walk you through in this video is a content strategy that I would highly recommend you start now at the beginning of the year. So even if you don't benefit from it now, you will benefit from it in 90 days and for the rest of the year. So this is a really good strategy for you to start implementing now so you can basically work smarter and not harder when the rest of the year rolls around, and even coming years as well. So something that people often tell me about social media is the overwhelm that comes with content creation. It would probably have to be one of the major things that slips people up with building a business on social media is the actual overwhelm that comes with content creation. Would that be fair to say? Like that you often feel overwhelmed by all the content that you need to create, or sometimes you just second guess what it is that you should put out there, that you just don't put anything out there at all. It's like, oh, well, it's too late today, I'll post tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes around and it's like, well, I don't know what to post. And you spend so much time thinking about what to post that you don't end up posting. And then the days go by and you haven't posted as much as you should have posted. And you're all overwhelmed with content creation. So stick with me and maybe grab a pen if you don't already have one, because this is something that I would recommend that you write down and follow along with as soon as you possibly can, okay, when it comes to content creation. Firstly, just before I go into that process, if you are an Online Crew coaching community member, I've just finished a training for you guys, which is a 5-step blueprint to conquer 2025. So make sure you go and watch the recording of that training. If you are in my network marketing team, you get all my coaching community training for free. So massive bonus to work with me, with my company. If that's, you have any interest in that, reach out to me. But anybody that's in my team, you get that training for free. Okay. So just make sure you go and watch the recording of that if you're a coaching community member. Really insightful to set your year up for success. Okay, so working smarter and not harder. Here's what you want to do. So whether it's Facebook or, Reels content, etc., are you guys familiar with Google Drive? If you are not, now is the year to get familiar with something like Google Drive or even Dropbox, something that's in the cloud. Okay, so you can save your content, copies of your content that's in the cloud. So if anything happens to the device that you are on, or something happens to your Facebook or your Instagram, you have your content saved, elsewhere that you can draw from, and it's not all lost. Okay, so let's take Facebook for an example to start with. You write a post on Facebook. So, and I'm presuming you've all written a post on Facebook in the past. Would that be right? So when you write your post and you put it on Facebook and you put a picture with it, and maybe it's something that it's taken a while for you to sort of write. Here's what I'd also do at the same time. Okay, this is the content strategy that you want to start doing if you're not already doing something like this, to save yourself a lot of time in the future. So take the written component. Let's say it's a Facebook written post. Take the written component of what you wrote and put it in a document on Google Drive. So create some folders in Google Drive. So your ultimate folder might be called content creation. Okay, content creation 2025 or something like that, if you wanted to label it sort of per year. And then you create a document like a Google Doc, and you put a copy of what you wrote in your Google Doc. Okay. You put a link to the post. So you go and grab the URL link. So go do this on a computer. So you write your post. Maybe you wrote it on the phone. You've done your post. You put a selfie with it. You've posted it. So this is what you want to do afterwards. So you go to your computer, open up a Google Drive. You've got a folder which is called content creation. Within that folder, You've got like it could be written Facebook and Instagram posts. You could have a folder that says Reels. You could have a folder that says TikToks or whatever content that you want to save. So let's say we're going to a folder that says Facebook and Instagram written posts. Okay, go and copy the wording that you had in your post, put it in this document. Go and grab the URL of your post on Facebook or Instagram and also put it underneath that wording. So you've actually got a copy of the date and the image and the full post, like you've got a link to it as well. You're also going to have the image that you posted with it. So Reels is different. That's a different folder. So you've got the image. So by including the link to your post, if you're like, oh, what photo did I put with that post? You can just link back to it and open it up and see it. But another folder you would want in your Google Drive is photos. Now, within your photos folder, you might have another folder which just says selfies. So start collating just whenever you use a selfie and you put it up with a post, also include that image in your Google Drive, in the folder that says selfies, in the folder that says photos, in the folder that says content creation. Are you following along with me? Okay. So you might have another folder in your content creation folder in Google Drive, which says Reels, and literally just take the link to the reel. And it might be, you might have one sentence about what the reel was about and then the link to the reel. Okay. So you could repurpose that reel later. So do you see what I'm doing here? I'm creating copies of everything that I'm providing on social media, and I'm keeping it and storing it in the cloud. So one, you're protected. If anything happens to your social media, you've still got copies of all your content. But two, you keep collating it, you keep collating it, you keep collating it. So when you are looking back over potentially 90 days, you can start recycling. You literally go back to those folders. You could store them by category if you wanted in content creation. It could be product posts, inspiration posts, business posts. So you've got folders within your Facebook and Instagram posts folder, which is product-based or service-based, whatever your business is, or business opportunity-based or inspiration. You could even have a folder there that mentions like occasions. Like there's a day for everything. There's a dog day, there's a sister day, there's a margarita day, there's a taco day, there's a Father's Day, there's a Mother's Day. Like you could have an occasion folder, as well by month. But do you see where I'm getting at? Like everything you put out in your socials, keep and store it so you can recycle it. So here's what you can do if you have never done this before and you're like, I know I've put a lot of posts out there in the past, but I've not done a really good job of repurposing it. This is what I did the other day, and it was really, really helpful for me to just create a whole lot of different content creation ideas from what I've done in the past. Go to something like Facebook. When you go to Facebook, so do this on your computer, go to Facebook and it says what's on your mind, as if you're going to post on Facebook, okay? And directly underneath that on your computer, it says posts and then filters next to it. So go and have a look after you've watched this video. Go to Facebook on a computer and go to your profile, okay? So you're looking at your profile. And up the top, it'll say what's on your mind as if you're going to post something. Directly underneath that, it says post, and it enables you to filter. So click on the filter and choose the year. Like it gives you boxes that you can choose a filter. So you could choose 2024, okay? So you could go back to, at the timing of this training, you could go back to the beginning of 2024. So you're choosing a filter to go back a year. So it filters and you press go, and it filters all your content from a year ago. Start scrolling through all your content from last year and copy and paste it into a Google Drive with the link and with the images and start repurposing it. Nobody remembers what you posted a year ago. Nobody remembers what you probably posted a month ago. But I went through like my Facebook like this, and I had a Google Drive open, and I copied the written stuff, put it in my Google Drive, got the URL link, put it at the bottom, got a photo, put it in photos and selfies, and just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And I've got all these ideas from a year ago that I didn't save on my Facebook now in a Google Drive, that when I'm lacking inspiration, I can just go to my Google Drive product posts, business posts, occasion posts, and then I've got like selfies, and I can draw from that. Like, I'm never going to be lost from content. You will never be lost for content if you store the stuff that you are creating. Because my point here is that you don't need to create fresh content every time you go to your social media. And some of you are spending way too much time and energy and overthinking what you need to post. Whereas there is probably a post 3 months ago or 6 months ago, or a year ago, that you spent 20 minutes writing and it was awesome. And you used it once. But if you ever thought about repurposing really cool posts that you've written in the past, and even if you don't want it to say exactly the same thing, use your AI tool and grab that wording from that post, put it in your AI tool and say, give me a slightly different version of this post. So it's even your own post, but you're putting a slightly different spin on it. You get AI to do that for you and you repost it. Do you see how if you can work smarter with keeping all the social media that you're putting out there, you can recycle it every 90 days by using AI with a different spin on it. But you can also go back to it. Like if you keep collecting all the stuff that you write on social media or all the reels, you can actually repurpose the reels or recreate a reel with that idea in mind. Or maybe you've got a caption on a reel and it's like, that reel worked really well for me. Put the caption in AI and say, give me a slightly different version of this caption. And then just create another B-roll footage or another video, but use exactly the same kind of concept with maybe a slightly different hook and a slightly different caption, and away you go. It takes half the thinking out of your content creation, because some of you are not putting out enough content because of the overwhelm of what to put out there, because you're not repurposing your content. You're not working smarter. You're working too hard. You're trying to put new content out there all the time. So some of my posts that I've put out in the last sort of week or so are actually just recycled versions of what I posted a year ago. You guys would never know. But it saves me a lot of time and energy in trying to think of a new post every time I want to post something, when you go back to what you've already posted. So if you've never done this process before, do what I just shared with you about going into the filters, going back a year ago, just scrolling very quickly through your Facebook and see which ones. Some of them you might not want to copy, or some of them are related to a holiday, which you're not going to copy again. But maybe you wrote something inspirational, or maybe you did a product post, or maybe you did a business post. And thought, that was quite good. So repost it again, or throw it into AI, get a slightly different version of it, and then, repost it. So content creation can become a lot easier for you if you put these kind of strategies in place. Now, if you start this at the beginning of the year now, so maybe you've got a goal. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be much better with my social media content. I'm going to post every day. I'm going to post every second day. And I'm going to do more posts about my product. And I'm going to do more written posts about my business opportunity. And I'm going to do more reels and whatever. If you are storing all of that information on a Google Drive at the same time you're creating it, you are collating months and months worth of information that then you can actually recycle. And it'll just get easier and easier and easier and easier. Is that helpful to you guys? Like, are you doing anything like that? Because I highly recommend that you do something like that to make your life easier, because you've probably created some great content over the last, I don't know how long you've been in the industry, but you've probably created some amazing content in the last, 6 months or year or whatever. You don't have to come up with fresh content every single time. You're just creating more overwhelm in your own brain. Just reuse what you've already got, or reuse what you've got, throw it into AI and come up with a slightly different version and a new photograph. And if you're putting like selfies with a lot of your posts, actually create a Google Drive within a photos folder called selfies and actually collate a library of photos that you can access from your. Why you want it in the cloud is that if you're away, you're on holidays, you're doing something, you can access all of that from a phone or a computer, no matter where you are. As long as you've got a device and an internet connection, you want that kind of stuff in the cloud, and you can draw from it from anywhere. It's also less drastic if something happened to your social media or it got shut down or something like that. Okay, does that make sense to you? Does it give you a little bit of inspiration to think a little bit, smarter about how you can actually store the content that you're creating and reuse it and repurpose it? Okay. Hey guys, thanks for saying hello. Less overwhelmed than last year. That's good. Would you suggest, Shirley, would you suggest copying everything in the folder like Reels and anything you put out? Well, when you're creating it, Shirley, it's kind of like, is this something that I could repurpose in the future? If it's something that's in a moment in time, like you're on a holiday, like it's something that like you can only do kind of once, then no, I wouldn't repurpose it. Like you'll know when you're creating the content. This is a curiosity post about my product or about my business opportunity, or this is inspiration or whatever. You'll know in the moment when you create a post whether it's something that you could probably repurpose again. So just go through that thought process when you're creating it. Are you still saving Reels on your camera roll too? Yes, because that's how I repurpose from Instagram to Facebook to TikTok. You want to save the raw form of the reel to your camera roll. So what I'm talking about here is the finished version of it, like in a Google Drive, so you can see what it is that you put out there. So you could use the same concept, the same caption. You might even, do a more updated, for females, maybe they had long hair and then they cut their hair short, or vice versa. But you want to repurpose the idea, the hook, the caption, but maybe you look different or something like that. So you're capturing in the Google Drive the concept, the idea, but you still want the raw form video of a reel in your camera roll to repurpose across platforms, so you can add music on that platform, if that makes sense, Dean. But it's the idea, it's the concept, it's the strategy that you're keeping in the Google Drive. Okay. Yeah, Peter, you're nailing it. Simple and brilliant. So it is exactly that. It's very simple for you to do. It'll take a couple of extra kind of minutes to just save what you're already creating in something like a Google Drive and folders for you to then repurpose. Like those of you guys that really listen to this video and take this on board, this will make your life so much easier moving forward in relation to content creation. Just trust me on that one. I know, because I do this myself, and it helps me in those moments when I'm not inspired. It helps me draw from previous content that, when I'm just thinking, oh, I know I need to post something. My brain is fried. I can't think of anything new. I can go back to my older content, whether it's product or business or inspiration, whatever, I'm posting at the time, and draw from something I've already written. Okay. It is a bit of a game changer if you take this seriously, what I'm recommending to you. So I hope that's hopeful. I hope that's helpful. I hope you go and implement that. And, for those of you that don't really use stuff in the cloud, if you are serious about building a business on social media, you want to move into things like repurposing content and working smarter and not harder, and having things accessible from the cloud on a phone and a computer, no matter where you are. Like the beautiful thing about using an internet and building a business online is that you can do it from anywhere. So when you've got things in the cloud, you can access it from any device, anywhere, anytime. So it really, truly does give you more freedom when you are repurposing content you've already created than thinking every single time you're doing a new, fresh idea. It's exhausting. So learn to work smarter and not harder. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Make sure you join me live tomorrow because I'm talking about like a real downfall of attraction marketing that you need to be wary of. So I want to talk about it. So I hope to see you same time tomorrow live.